Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this how to play video, I'm going to take a look at Mecha'thun Druid. Mecha'thun Druid is a powerful combo deck with the goal of rapidly cycling through your entire deck and playing all of your other cards from hand except for Mecha'thun, Innervate and Naturalize. Then you can finally play Mecha'thun, Innervate and Naturalize, and boom, your hand is empty, your deck is empty, your board is empty, you win the game. That's the simple version of the tale. However, as always, it's not all that simple. First of all, you don't actually need to empty your entire hand before your Mecha'thun turn necessarily, because you have stuff like Innervates, Moonfires, Bounces, Biology projects, lots of one-mana spells, so it's perfectly possible for you to play a number of these 0 and 1 mana spells on your Mecha'thun turn, so that you can actually pull off the combo even if you have more cards left in hand at the start of the turn. However, you also need to be a little bit careful, because this deck can sometimes struggle against other decks that are just happy to do nothing, because you have to be able to clear out your own minions in order for the Mecha'thun effect to be activated, because your battlefield has to be empty. And that can be a problem with this deck sometimes, because you have cards that target only minions, stuff like Barkskin. Barkskin can also target the opponent's minion, but still. Then there's stuff like Earthen Scales, which can only target a friendly minion, so you have to cast this on one of your own minions. And then there are cards like Spellstone, deal damage to a minion, and Naturalize, destroy a minion, as well as Wrath, deal damage to a minion. And the real difficulty in playing this deck, and this is one of the most difficult decks I have ever played in Hearthstone, is that you're going through some rapid cycle turns. This deck can draw cards like crazy. You draw cards with Pyromancer Acolyte, so you have a Pyromancer on the board, you Barkskin your Pyromancer, you maybe Scales your Pyromancer, you play a bunch of spells, your Acolyte takes damage, you draw card, you draw card, you draw card, and you draw a ton of cards with Gadgets and Auctioneer. Auctioneer, your spells cost almost nothing, you can draw half of your deck almost. These are crazy turns, they take a lot of time. So it's already a big job to get to queue all the actions that you want and react to all the cards that you're able to draw. And amidst all of that, you also have to keep constantly in mind, okay, how many minions do I have left? What kind of ways can I use to kill off those minions? Because I've lost games with this deck where I've had a single Gadgets and Auctioneer and my Mecha'thun combo left. And I simply have not been able to kill off my Auctioneer. But of course that's my mistake, because the deck has the tools. You can, for example, you can Spellstone your own minions, you can Naturalize your own minions, you can Wrath your own minions. There are a bunch of ways that you can get rid of your minions, but sometimes that is an issue. So you need to try to line up your remaining minions and your remaining spells that require a minion as a target together, so that you can clean up everything and get your Mecha'thun combo off. And you need to do this while also trying to survive, because you need these Spellstones and Naturalizes often to destroy the opponent's threats. So it's a very, very complicated deck to play. That said, it is also a fun deck to play, very challenging, and also it's a cheap deck to play. This particular build that I was playing, this is the cheapest possible build, at 3440 dust. I recognize that this is not the best build, but I wanted to try if playing the cheapest possible version has any really significant difference, and I can tell you that the difference is small. Obviously, if you have the cards, you want to make a more expensive version of this deck, but if you don't, then this is perfectly viable. In fact, the most common version of this deck is only one epic card away. The most common version of this deck would be to remove one copy of Oaken Summons and add in a second copy of Branching Paths. There are a few other high-performance, relatively popular variants. There's, for example, one that replaces Acolyte of Pain with the Branching Paths, and there's one that replaces Gadgets and Auctioneer with the Branching Paths. And there's one version that takes away both copies of Oaken Summons for a Branching Paths and Floop's Glorious Gloop. So we're talking about a range from this 3440 dust to around 6000 dust, even for the best possible versions. And it's still yet to be determined what is actually the best possible version. But the versions that try to reduce the minion count a little bit might be onto something, because it's sometimes difficult to kill off that final minion. On the other hand, they also reduce some of the card draw, so it's a delicate balance to strike. As for the mulligans with this deck, you're always looking for card draw. You want to keep an Auctioneer, you want to keep Acolyte of Pain, you want to keep Oaken Summons. From there it can start depending a little bit, because if you're facing like something very heavy aggro with lots of tokens, then you do want to have a Pyromancer, and you might want to keep like Pyromancer Barkskin so that you can make the most out of that. But those sorts of decisions generally require some insight into what your opponent is playing. Your basic mulligan is Auctioneer, Summons, Acolyte. As for the matchups with this deck, the weaknesses of this deck are Deathrattle decks, Deathrattle Hunter, Deathrattle Rogue, and decks that can put on lots of big minions because there's very little hard removal, so something like a even Warlock can be very difficult. But one of the advantages of this deck is that it's a very quick cycle deck, so it has a good matchup against other OTK decks. If you want to start playing this deck, the best advice I can give you is to take your time and be prepared for a rough learning curve. It will take time to get grasp of this. And also Deck Tracker is extremely useful when playing this deck, because you have to line up those minions and spells that target minions together. And you may even run into some quite nice strategies against this deck. For example, a priest holding on to something like Radiant Elemental and a Psychic Scream, so that they can Psychic Scream that Radiant Elemental into your deck when you're just preparing for the final turn. But you can counter even that type of plays by holding on to some of your removal. For example, if you have an additional Innervate or Biology Project together with a buffed up Spellstone in hand, then if that kind of thing happens to you, you can deal with that, and if it doesn't, then you can still empty all that hand into the Mecha'thun, because you can of course Spellstone the Mecha'thun, it doesn't die from that before you finally go for the Naturalize. So there is just a lot to learn about this deck, and it cannot really be told very easily. But I hope that I've been able to point you in the right direction, so that you can start thinking in these terms and practicing the deck. If you enjoy this content, then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. And now, let's go take a look at Mecha'thun Druid in action. Let's see. Alright, up against a rogue, and it's not an old rogue. That's strange. But then again, we're now pretty low in Legends, so we're facing all sorts of memes. Oh, it's a prep raiding party. Alright. Yeah, I probably should have just played the Mecha'thun and taken the chance. And it was very close after all. I mean, he was down to 5 health in the end, so I was almost able to push enough with just the Auctioneer. I think I want the Acolyte later with the Pyro. I can go with the Howl now. I believe this is fine. Probably going with the Oaken Summons next turn. Well, this is not an OTK deck, probably. So it's unlikely that I would have to worry about the same concerns as I have faced against the OTK decks, where they just don't play anything until they OTK.
There once was a man from the place.
But we'll see. Alright, I think it's Oaken Summons. Hopefully I can pull an Acolyte. I actually pull an Acolyte. I think the Acolyte warrants protection. I think I will kill the Elven Minstrel, even though it uses a 0-mana spell. Which is kind of not what I really want to be doing. Oh, it's... what is it actually? Is this just... it can't be Malleus OTK, right? Well, this is now guaranteed to pull a Pyromancer, but I don't do anything with that Pyromancer right now. So I think we'll be chilling for the time being. Is this just a Deathrattle Rogue? I simply don't know yet. So Pyro, Acolyte, Innervate, Barkskin, Biology Project. Draw 3 cards, deal 3 damage. It's not a melee rogue. Melee rogue doesn't run pirates. Yeah, it's a Deathrattle Rogue. It's not the budget version, it doesn't run the Raiding Party and Pirates either. That's a lot of damage, so I need to get going here. Pyromancer. Acolyte of Pain. Barkskin on the Pyromancer. Then we do some innervating. Let's do some innervating. I guess we can do a biology project here. I also want to do a naturalize. Or I can do a 1 damage wrath on this Devil Sore. I think that's the better line. 1 damage wrath on that Devil Sore over there. And that was that turn. Okay, we cleared a number of scary minions from this board, but obviously there are still cubes. There are still nasty things. There are tutus that spawn 7/7s, there's still another blade, there's still the vials. I have not yet achieved much. Yeah, that was the nasty thing that I was talking about. And if he has a vial for that, then that's just very nasty. Just not a whole lot I can do here. Can't go for a Pyro Branching Paths line yet. Oaken Summons pulls nothing. He probably has a vial or something for this, and I don't think I can recover from those 7/7s. So this seems a really bad matchup. Deathrattle decks in general are pretty tough matchups. Just not enough mana. I actually have to draw cards. I have to draw a card that I can use here. I drew a card that I can use. And I want to naturalize the 7/7. I didn't get to do that. Tough. Because now if he has cube, then that's just incredibly strong. Cube is simply game winning, and taking 7 extra damage otherwise too is really rough. Can't help it, sometimes. Now I'm going to have to naturalize that one, obviously. And I'm going to need to spellstone this one. And I'm going to need to pounce this one. I don't see how I can win this one though. Taking the 7 extra damage was pretty bad. Oaken Summons are not replaceable, right? Well, they are. The more common build uses 1 Oaken Summons and 2 Branching Paths. Oh, well then this happened. Save time and get some other matchup, but maybe we can try. Matchups, these are just incredibly bad for this deck.
Truth is found in death.
I think there's any reason for me to hit into the Keleset, just take more damage from that. I don't think that will help me. Let's see. And he has 2 good openers too. Both times with the blade. Okay, so we howl. Alright.
There once was a man from Gilneas.
Okay, now he found a Deathrattle minion, so he prepares his blade. And I just don't have a lot of good stuff here. I think I have to use an Earthen Scales on this Acolyte, just so that it doesn't die to a simple blade hit. Then he will need to do more, and I can potentially draw 2 cards. I was thinking swapping Oaken for Silence. No, you never want to do that. I mean, you could swap 1 Oaken for Branching Paths, that's a common build.
Blood and plunder.
But never Silence. So he still actually had not found. He actually still had not found a Deathrattle minion. Well, now he definitely has to have a Deathrattle minion. It's probably going to be the Whelp, right? 8 cards in hand. I just don't have the tools. Coin Auctioneer. I think I have to coin the Auctioneer here. I think I just have to, because I desperately need some cards here.
Bring pain.
Time goes short. This'll be good.
No, this doesn't look good at all to me. Doesn't look good at all to me. Now he can play the Whelp and he can get a 7/7. Just an egg though. Well, egg is not as much of a problem. Obviously it's a problem, but it's not as much. Okay, so he gets the second Necrim Blade. And I can do Pyro Acolyte. That's fine, and I will have 3 mana left. It has to be the Pyro Acolyte, and it has to be Earthen Scales on the Pyromancer. But this does not look like it's going to be enough. I mean, I could do Biology Project, I suppose. Well, there's a Barkskin. But does the Barkskin really help me? It does keep the Pyromancer alive, but then it will pop the Devil's Egg. So no, it's not enough. This just isn't enough. I don't see how I can beat this archetype. There's so much power in it. He can get the blade, and next turn he can get some 7/7s. He can't get them yet this turn because he can't get the Whelp and the hero power. Both this turn. But next turn it will be no issue for him. But I need to summon the other Pyromancer here, just not to die. So we need to summon the other Pyromancer. Hey, I'm a Pyromancer and I'm here. And I need to do Howl, right? Need to do Howl. I need to do Barkskin. And I need to do a 3 damage Wrath. And this is not the way, because now he will play the Whelp. He will play the Whelp and he will hit into the Pyromancer, and he gets the 7/7 from the Whelp. That's like guaranteed to happen. Are you telling me he has Leroy Cube again? Well, then that happened. I have tried to do this, but I have never managed to. And there are now another 2 Leroys within this cube. So how do I deal with this?
Now how about...
I need to play the Auctioneer. And I need to Spellstone this cube. Everything takes 1 damage after that. So the Leroys come out. Then I have to do some moon firing.
Time goes short.
So this way I survived the quadruple Leroy for now. I'm at 6. So I need Innervate and I need Naturalize for the Mecha'thun. If I don't die this turn, then maybe I can win this. I will need to draw the branching paths. But I mean, I will draw the branching paths, right? Not necessarily, because he might be able to kill the Auctioneer. There are no more pirates left. So I want to draw just 1 card with the Auctioneer so that I will leave 1 card to be drawn next turn so I don't take any fatigue damage. So I'll use the branching paths for armor. And even more armor. Actually, I still need to use the barkskin because I don't have barkskin targets. But using barkskin will prevent me. No, it will not prevent anything because I can naturalize the Auctioneer. This will be perfect, right? I will take some fatigue, but he doesn't have enough reach.
No cards left.
This kills that one. And I can naturalize this Auctioneer. And I can play Oaken Summons. I can play Pounce. And I win next turn. Actually managed to pull that off. This deck is so hard to play, I have to say. But we did it. This time we did it. He doesn't have enough time. He doesn't have the time. We're holding on to an Acolyte here in the Priest matchup. But now we get another chance to try to fight Priest. Let's try. I mean, you kind of can still win. You can get the Mecha'thun on the board, and maybe the Mecha'thun will just hit your opponent enough to kill him. That's one way. There's not a lot of minion pressure otherwise, so Mecha'thun would have to solo the opponent. We'll see. So the Priest did a full keep. Yeah, Skulking Guys just wrecks this. It destroys almost everything. Well, he's definitely not AFK, so now we know that much. I think I need to play the Acolyte down there. I don't have anything else here. Then we'll see the Priest's response. Priest is taking it easy. I like that. That's a good priestly thing to do. I think I'm going to rat my own Acolyte for 1, so that I can draw 2 cards. Because I want to get some cards here. Now I could baskin my Acolyte. Because what if he coins Celiax? I think we'll give the bark skin on the Acolyte a try. Let's give this a try. There can of course be silences in a priest deck and also. So if guys remember, this deck is pretty strong, yeah. Mostly this loses to... I've really taken a beating from Deathrattle decks that are pressure and put Deathrattle minions on the board. I just took a huge beating from those. I couldn't clear those boards. Against OTK decks it's very difficult to play, but it should still win. So this is an OTK priest deck. And of course there is always a chance that the OTK deck beats me. I think I want to go in with the Pyro here. Pyro and Pounce. Maybe. I could also simply draw a card by Acolyte hitting there, but then he could play the Ciliax.
What if?
I think we'll give this a try.
This'll be good.
This priest deck obviously runs 2 copies of Psychic Scream. So he can just scream stuff back into my deck.
Unity, precision,
Yes, that's Ciliax, but I don't mind. But just draw more cards. Eight cards in hand seems acceptable. But obviously this priest deck might just kill me with the gallery or something. So we'll see. So now I would need to spell Stone. Don't to kill off this Acolyte first. Yeah, we're killing off the Acolyte. I spellstone that one down. I can play another Acolyte, right? He can mill cards if I play another Acolyte. It will be very difficult still for him to mill cards. It seems fine. It's still pretty difficult for him to mill cards. And I only need one Innervate for my combo anyway. I have Mecha'thun and I have Naturalize. But there can also be something like an OTK coming. That is not an OTK. So I probably don't mind that. Do I go in with an Auctioneer now? To draw more cards? I don't absolutely have to. I don't have to use Naturalize, but this is a good position to use Naturalize in general. So I think I will. I'm not going with the Auctioneer yet. I'll buff up the Spellstone with this first. Then I'll buff up the Spellstone with this as well. And then I'll Naturalize the Lich King. I get to burn a couple of cards, which can be useful. Burning a Scream is definitely useful. 8 cards in hand.
This'll be time goes short.
Okay, so we go in with these.
My hand is full.
Burning Malygos is also very useful. So Scream and Malygos gone. Velen is the only. Velen is the only damage source right now, which also lines up much better for my Spellstone. But a pair of Lich Kings. Pair of Lich Kings is scary stuff, obviously. I don't think I can deal with 2 Lich Kings. Well, that was awkward. This will always pull a Pyromancer. If I want to do it like that. Yeah, I think I want to pull the Pyromancer here. I won't have the tools to kill my Auctioneer again. Once again, I'm in the position where I just can't kill off my Auctioneer.
Now how about...
Let's pull the Pyromancer. I think I need to Spellstone one of the Lich Kings. Evidence Case is not doing a whole lot here.
Time goes short.
Has to go on to Pyromancer. With cards in hand. This is not looking particularly good right now. There's a Lich King staring at me from the board. And I don't know how to deal with it. And even if I find a way to deal with it, then I might just run into the same problem again, that I can't do anything. That I can't kill off my minions. He's looking for... he might even look for a Spirit Lash here, just to deal that 1 damage. I've seen both servitudes, obviously there's Spellstones left. And Spellstones have pretty good targets. Lich King, Ziliax, Gargoyle, Radiant Elemental right now. And that's my final Pyromancer, so I cannot deal with the Spellstone. Okay. Somewhat problematic position. So it's Auctioneer, 10 cards in hand, Auctioneer, and obviously need to Moonfire this copy of Lich King. And I will need to Wrath into this copy of Lich King. And I will need to Pounce into that copy of Lich King, I believe.
This'll be good.
Because otherwise survival is pretty difficult. But getting rid of this Auctioneer is also very difficult. I actually don't know if I can do it.
Time grows short.
I have only 4 cards left in my deck.
Yeah.
I probably did not manage to do this properly. That's my general impression right now.
My hand is full.
Because he can, once again, he can defeat me by not playing anything. But I mean, I simply could not leave him with multiple Lich Kings. That's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of scenario.
I got the best deals anywhere.
But now I will not be able to kill off my Auctioneers. And then I will die.
Not all who wander are lost.
He kills off my Auctioneer for me. I appreciate that. But I haven't found the second Auctioneer. So I need to draw the second Auctioneer with this card, right?
I'm running out of cards.
That's the second Auctioneer.
I got the best deals anywhere.
Need to play that and Barkskin.
I have no cards left.
So now if I don't die yet, there is a chance, because I can kill off my Auctioneer, and if I can just suicide the Auctioneer into the Velen, that should be enough, right? You can't kill your Velen with a Death and Decay, with a Death Coil. Velen is a friendly character. Okay, he's trying to prevent me from suiciding my Auctioneer. Do I need to draw one more with the Oaken Summons? If I draw one with the Oaken Summons, then I can do all the rest next turn, yes. Not actually even... yeah, I do draw one with the Oaken Summons here. Okay. If I can suicide, but he can resurrect the Grizzly and he can heal my Auctioneer. But now he resurrects a Lich King, so now I can suicide my Auctioneer into that one. And then I win, right? Isn't that so? Because the Auctioneer is going to be suicided over there. And then I can do Mecha'thun and Innervate and Innervate and Biology Project and Biology Project and Moonfire and Naturalize. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.